Last night might have been the most frustrating episode of Big Brother that I've ever watched. Uh, the one thing about Big Brother is there's always this sliver of hope when you have your favorite in trouble in that game where you're watching just maybe they can pull this off still. Just maybe they can make that one move or they can win that one competition to save themselves. Part of me thinks back to Big Brother 14 with Ian and having to win that shark veto competition with the puzzle and coming in the clutch. And if he didn't win that, he goes home. And instead he ends up winning that season. This was just so frustrating to watch as you knew more and more there was nothing that Shannon could do. Let's jump into the episode. By the way, guys, what's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. It was a bit of a wild ride last night where the best word for it was almost depressing watching it. It was sad watching it. And then ever so frustrating. So again, in the episode, we continue to watch Shanna get grinded down and just broken down until there was no hope left. She still was committed to fight to stay, but she was ready to go home at the same time. And it's what we had been seeing on the live feeds on the previous episodes. The one thing that we were holding on to was this episode was going to have a live veto competition. We didn't even know who was going to play on the veto. We just knew there was a very slim chance that Shanna might not even get a chance to play. Since there were 7 house guests, only 6 get to compete. Someone was going to be left on the bench. And the episode finally gets to that live veto competition. And who's the one sitting on the bench? No shot at winning veto. No shot at changing up this game. No shot at staying inside this house to win Big Brother. It was Shanna. And that was incredibly disappointing. And it's one of those things where, hey, if you ever want clear evidence that Big Brother isn't as, I'm not saying it's not, but isn't as fixed as everybody likes to think it is. If it was 100% fixed, Shanna would have been in this competition. But alas, she wasn't. She had no shot of winning. It ended up being Todrick who won the veto. He decided not to use it. Shanna was evicted. Even during her nomination speech, she stayed very classy. She was thankful for her time being there. She made some shout outs. And she sat down. On the other hand, Miesha, not so much. She did campaign in her speech to stay, how she wanted to stay over Shanna, who had been lying and manipulating, blah, blah, blah. So Shanna's evicted, and it was, again, just very disappointing to see. We had that little bit of hope that maybe, just maybe, she'd pull it off. But it was too little too late, and she didn't have the support she needed. It's even more sad, too, because Carson and Cynthia are blinded. They think they've made this great move in the game. They also think, and I'll give them credit, that they didn't go low, right? They were just like, look, we found out you're playing both sides. We don't trust you anymore, so we're putting you up. But this isn't personal. They tried to keep it very game focused and outside of everything else, and I'll give them credit. Cynthia and Carson did do that. Todrick, not so much. He was definitely making a lot of extra comments that didn't need to be said, that were a little bit more personal, and that sucks because one of the things I wish people could see, right, is Todrick, the game player, is exactly what we need in Big Brother. Someone who's willing to go against what maybe people are rooting for. You need a villain, right? Every good superhero has a great villain. You need that. And especially a villain is at his best when he thinks he's in the right. And Todrick thinks he's in the right. He thinks he's making the right moves. He thinks everybody's going to love him. That's not the case. It's not the case. He walks that fine line where he goes from, oh, he's a great villain to just unlikable. And that kind of sucks that we have to deal with that. And it also sucks that this is the way this season has gone. Because now it is slim pickings on who you want to pick as your winner, because everybody has become just a little bit unlikable. And it's also slim pickings on who we would want to see HOH, because none of these scenarios turn out much the better. Maybe Cynthia can pull off an HOH. Maybe Lamar could pull off an HOH. Todrick and Miesha, we've been there, done that with them in Power. Of all the people, other than Todrick and Miesha, who could win HOH, who would be maybe the third worst person to win HOH? Well, Todd Bridges. And guess who won HOH last night in the HOH competition? Todd Bridges. Now, there were some other things that came out of this competition as well. Things like Todd and Lamar having to be connected for 24 hours. They have costumes they have to wear. They are a lime and mojito. So Lamar is the mojito. Todrick is the lime that goes with him. Lamar's very unhappy about his costume, that apparently Todd picked Lamar to be the one to be put in this costume. And he's very, very upset about this. And it now looks like the targets this week, the potential noms for this week, will be Carson and Cynthia, who just last week were convinced they made the best game move, who finally got the liar out of the house, someone who would have been loyal to them moving forward, someone who would have been a number for them moving forward, someone who possibly could have won this HOH for them and helped them get further in the game. They just evicted. And now Miesha and Todrick are probably going to have Todd Bridges do their dirty work for them by getting rid of Carson or Cynthia. One less competitor for them to have to beat on their way to the final two. Yeah, this was it was not a great fun experience to watch. It wasn't a bad episode. It was so frustrating and hard to see these events go down. But also, like I said, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad at the move itself. It was brilliant. I'm shocked it worked. I'm impressed that it worked. Man, why did it have to? Why did it have to? That pretty much covers it. The feeds were down for a really long time after the episode, so we didn't get much other than Todd won HOH, Todrick and Lamar are in a costume, and they're tethered together for 24 hours, and that Carson and Cynthia are most likely to go up. There was continued talks about how, they did the right thing about getting Shane out, and Carson and Cynthia did say, like, it's okay if we go next now, but what could have been? Oh, what could have been? Last night on our watch party, we did have a good time commiserating together. I learned a few things about the relationship between Shayna's ex and Lamar's ex-sister-in-law and their relationships and how that all intermingles. I also found out that Pete Davidson is dating Kim Kardashian. Did Pete Davidson sell his soul to the devil? Because this man's dating history is it's something else for Pete Davidson. Look, I ain't no Tom Cruise, no Brad Pitt over here, but Pete Davidson, baby. I mean, like, you ain't no Denzel, Pete. Like, you're Pete Davidson. You're punching way above your weight class here, buddy, and good for you. But that pretty much wraps it up for this episode, for the live feed update. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video, you never miss an update, you never miss a live stream. We did also talk that it was announced yesterday that Big Brother Canada 10 has announced its premiere date. It's going to be on March 2nd. It's a 2-night premiere. Wednesday, March 2nd, Thursday, March 3rd, back-to-back episodes. We will be live here on this channel for those, doing a watch party as we see the Houseguests move in and everything that happens on those first 2 episodes. That means we get a 1-week break from Celebrity Big Brother, and then 1 week later, Big Brother Canada starts to air. So we're going and moving right on into the next season, baby. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of that coming in the future. Once again, everybody, my name's been Ori. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.